Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏. Today guys, we are going to be diving down into the charts to take a look at Cardano and specifically the price action here of ADA. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, why not check it out? Links in the description down below, completely free. We're down in Discord pretty much every single day for hours upon hours doing additional analysis on a whole host of different altcoins. So why not check it out? I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Fantastic community down there. If you happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, and you won't miss any more videos that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏 either. Right, let's take a look here at Cardano and see what's going on. Right, I want us really to spend a little bit of time talking about this small micro movements that are going on, and then build this up into some larger kind of moves going on in the medium and longer term viewpoints. So as you can see, we had the 5 impulsive moves come down. Let me just make that a little bit bigger so you can kind of see this in detail. Right, we had 5 impulsive moves up. And then 5 impulsive moves coming down. This actually completed. There's a couple of different ways to look at it, but I think ultimately it's probably easiest to say that we finished here or here. I'm going to leave it over here. It doesn't really matter because it's all kind of history and we have a good wave counts coming further forward. So as you can see, pretty much from yesterday, early hours of the morning, we can see that we have an A, a B and a C wave come up higher. Okay, so that kind of completes that move. It's actually a bit of a shallow C wave. It should have actually gone higher, but there we are where we are, right? And we started to pull back down in line with the market. Okay, we were overbought at this point. We pulled down straight away into the oversold area, and we haven't done a lot since we've had this wave down. We actually just kind of traded sideways, and in doing so, what we've done is we've actually moved up into the overbought area on the stochastic RSI. So this is actually indicating to us that there wasn't a lot of momentum behind the price going up, and we should potentially be thinking about the downside action. And again, in Elliott wave, we can count this out as an A, a B, and then a potential C coming down, right? And we're already lowering that stochastic RSI, so we should be mindful over potentially just coming down. Now, the fact that we are not overbought at this particular point, we've got a couple of options here. So the first one is we've got a very clear wave down with an A wave, right? That's very, very clear. So the other option is we actually end up with a double bottom. If we take the stochastic RSI down reasonably to a point where we actually find ourselves just down at about 78.1, and we turn that into a level of support, then actually we might find that with a double bottom and that C wave finishes right there. That would be kind of the hopium. Now, I'm not confident on that because I think that actually over the weekend we're probably going to be trading sideways and then around a bit of a range, but it is a longer term play. Is that there is in fact a C wave coming down here, and this is basically a much larger play. So if we were to think about this B wave here, or this B wave high and the C wave coming down, this being an A wave, this bounce 5 waves up is a B, and then we come down lower into a C. That C wave would put us at about 76 cents. There's also a deeper D wave, C wave, and we'll talk about that in a moment as well. So as we start to think about this and we start to pull this move over to the high points that we've already had, this C wave isn't too far off, right? We've got 76 cent flat down here with a C wave, and this C wave on this current wave count would be 76.5. That would get us very, very close to completing the entire move. So if I zoom out here a little bit, we can do is we can take our ABC moves from this high point, this being A down, this being B up, and this entire move here would be a C wave down, right? So now when I zoom back in, you can see that we have this range that we might be actually retracing down into, and an area that we might be thinking about seeing a bit of a bounce to the upside, right? Which would be right in here. And basically it's between 76.5 and 76 cent flat, okay? So that's the kind of range that we might be retracing to. Now the stochastic RSI on this hourly isn't going to be one foul sweep down there. I don't think it has the momentum behind it. So instead, I think we're going to see a few different waves inside here, right? So we have wave 1, 2, potentially come down a little bit lower with wave 3. Then we'll start to see a bit more of a choppy kind of move up, and then follow that gain down with the ABC to finish it, right? That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking here. I'm not expecting it to be, a straight down drop. Okay, so we should be kind of open to the idea that there's going to be a little bit of volatility in here. Not easy to trade that kind of volatility either, because I think it's going to be very, very choppy, not clear definitive moves. Okay, very, very short. As you can see here within these candles, let me just remove that fib to make this a little bit clearer. What we have is a lot of buying pressure right here. Okay. And if I grab another rectangle, you can see right here is your selling pressure. And what we're finding ourselves getting tighter and tighter into this gap, right? So all these wicks up here are basically indicating that we've got selling pressure, and all these wicks down here are buying pressure, right? So right now it looks like the sellers are controlling the market and the buyers are reacting, okay? So what we should be thinking about here is potentially that pullback down lower. Now we take a look at any kind of key areas of support. There really isn't any to kind of be visible on the shorter time frames, so it's all looking at what was going on previously, you know, in March 2022, early March that is. So what we've got here is, yeah, indicated areas of support on this area. This one doesn't really have anything. And as we come down a little bit lower, we've got this support here just coming in with this wick. I think they're incredibly weak. They're not overly very strong, so we should be very cautious over that. Obviously, at 78.5, there is an area of support, and if we were to lose that, I would expect us then to pull down into this range of 76 cent. Okay, so that's this yellow line just in here. That's the kind of area that we're wanting to kind of make sure that we hold and keep it. Okay, so let's actually pull this up into our 4-hourly. Right, we are reasonably positioned on the 4-hourly stochastic RSI for a push upwards, but this could also correct down, so we should be open to the idea of corrections. The 8-hour is progressing down. This would actually allow us to complete the move, and the daily stochastic RSI is heading to the oversold area, so that's actually coming up to, you know, that low point of 76 cent would make a lot of sense. After that, I think we should then be thinking about corrective moves back up again. So on this daily chart, what we were actually looking at here, in my opinion, is obviously we've completed the ABC move to the downside. Okay, and well, I'll get into the larger picture in a moment. And this could be, this is, in fact, in my opinion, the start of an A wave up. This being here, potentially a B wave down, which is actually a pretty deep retracement, and there's a reason for that, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And then we'll probably move up into a C wave, and I expect this C wave to potentially go impulsive. Okay, and I'll show you why in a moment. Now, if that does go impulsive, that would have been a wave 2. So what you'd end up with is a wave 1 here, a wave 2 coming down, and wave 2s are normally very, very steep, right? They retrace very, very deeply into wave 1, but they're not allowed to cross the lows of wave 1. Okay, that would make it invalid. So if we do come down to the 76 cent range in this wave 2 correction, that is not uncommon for a wave 2. Then of course we'd push up into a wave 3. Wave 3 would be 1.618 of wave 1. Okay, so we would expect to see that pretty significant move to the upside, then followed by a wave 4 and a wave 5. Okay, and this kind of thing is our recovery out of this area, and we would invalidate any further lows. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen here on the medium term, and it's medium term because it kind of covers over several weeks into months. Now, as I come up into our weekly time frame, you can see the stochastic RSI on here is completely in the ground, completely oversold, and the monthly is as well, right? So these are actually in a really good position, and this is because we've actually had already completed the expanding flat correction, right? So we had the wave 3 high come up here, I think it was like $2.47, and then we had this A wave come down, right? The A wave comes down, and it actually lands us about here. We then have a B wave that goes up into new all-time high. This is $3.10. Then we come down and we go down lower than the A wave, going and setting this out, and this basically then is a corrective pattern of an expanding flat correction, right? So basically B goes higher than origin and C goes lower than A wave. That completes the move and has lowered our stochastic RSI all the way from the overbought area to heavily oversold. Not just is it oversold on the weekly chart, but it's also oversold on our monthly chart. Now, when we actually review what's gone on and with this monthly chart and why this is such a bullish place to be, all we have to do is take a look at where things were previously, right? Where was this last oversold on the monthly chart? Well, this was October 2019, guys, before the pandemic crash of 2020. Okay, so we start thinking about putting that into context. We're right back down before the bull run had actually officially started for Cardano from a stochastic RSI and a momentum perspective. From here, this stochastic RSI rising up on the monthly chart from our starting position where it is right now is going to be absolutely insane for Cardano's ADA. So long term, it's actually looking very, very good. The weekly chart is also aligned very much to the thinking that we should be pushing on up. And I've spoken about this a dozen times already across many different altcoins and Bitcoin as well, that what you've got here is a stochastic RSI that has been so oversold that this is a similar place that we've seen significant pumps to the upside. And this is pretty consistent across the board. All we have to do is take a look at the wave 2 lows, the A wave lows just here, up into the new all-time high, and look at where we are right now, ready for a big push to the upside. Even the crash of March 2020 was a low point. There was a couple of points in the bear market where we were oversold as well. As I said, right, this was basically, September, October 2019. Okay, this is actually when Bitcoin started its run. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we wouldn't have had that kind of black swan event that actually kind of wiped out that stochastic RSI without doing too much price discovery. But we still moved up, but it was very, very insignificant before we got the black swan event to then get us all kind of really heavily invested back into cryptocurrencies. So all I'm saying, guys, is from a long-term perspective, ADA is actually in a really, really good spot, okay, in terms of where the value is going to be. It's completed its expanding flat correction. It's all corrective. There's no trend in there. And from here, we've got stochastic RSIs, which show heavily oversold positions on the weekly and the monthly, and good progression to the upside. Obviously, I'm expecting volatility on the smaller timeframes. This should be a bit of a given. We do have this kind of scoped out low point of between 76.5 and 76 cent. And I do anticipate this potentially being the low point. We could come down a little bit lower, maybe to 71. But I'm not anticipating that because we've already got our low point set. And I'm kind of thinking that we should actually start to think about a move out of here as the stochastic RSI should get corrected with this move. And we should start to see some kind of move out of this in some form of recovery. But again, that'll be subject to change and we'll analyze that closer to the time. Guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.